Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. I'm super pumped today because this is the first official Art of the Image video, the first full production video I've done in the new studio. That's right, this is the new studio I'm shooting in right now. Probably doesn't look any different to you because the green screen's working and whatnot. But if you missed the previous video I did on setting up this room, go back and have a look. Give you a quick recap. Basically, this is I think I measured it to 26 feet, 25 feet by, can't remember if it was 12 or 14, but it gives you a general idea of the room. So it's twice as long as it is wide. Great room with depth for shooting. I think from my audio checks, the echo, because it's an empty room, isn't too bad in here, especially using the AT2020, but I'll be tweaking that. I've got the light setup all done in here. I'm very pleased with it. It's looking good. I'm going to be doing little tweaks as we go along, and I may put different studio spaces throughout. But I want to start today with a viewer question. So Sigma and their lenses and their art lenses. A lot of people like them. They are very good. There are some caveats on some of them. And we have a viewer question here. Let me grab the question. And I got some new reading glasses. They're supposed to be rimless. What I like about them is they're much lighter. So I'm going to see how I like them on video. Let's see. Sign21, YouTube username. Among these two, he's talking about the Sigma 17 to 70 zoom and then the Art 18 to 35 f1.8, which is a very nice constant aperture f1.8 lens. Among these two, I chose the 17 to 70 and used it for several years. A great glass, but it requires further post-processing, which would increase the sharpness. I have another question. Is now in my hands their 17 to 70 and 18 to 35 Art, whether or not to leave the 18 to 35 Art. It is much better if he has quality. I'm a big difference with the 70D, has not yet seen. So I think he's saying he hasn't seen a big difference with the 70D yet. Maybe a little to work with. I think that if 17 to 70 tweak sharpness, the quality is no worse than 18 to 35, but a 1.8 aperture is very attractive. But whether it is necessary if you remove the people very rarely, may be easier than buy a cheap Soviet lens. Sorry for my English. So that's from Sign21. So what he's basically questioning is it worth the additional expense for him to get the 18 to 35 f1.8 Art, which he has right now, or to stay with his 17 to 70, which is a 2.8 to 4, which I actually really like that range because it's much more versatile. And typically, I don't need a constant aperture zoom. The Art's a little different because we are at f1.8, so it is a nice beast that way. Myself, I don't like the sacrifice on the long end, so I would probably myself go 17 to 70, use it as a constant aperture f4 is probably how I would use that lens, and then I would have my 50 f1.8 and any of my other primes I want when I need a fast lens, or actually I have the 50 f1.4 Nikon f1.4D. So that's the option I would go, but I'm not knocking that lens. For some people, that is a great lens to use. It's a great lens if you want to put a speed booster on it, like the Metabones, onto a Micro Four Thirds. All of a sudden, you can have a very, very fast, very versatile zoom for video. It's not something I need, but it's certainly a nice piece of gear. I'm only saying for the 17 to 70 and then the prime combination, for what my needs are and the way I shoot, that's the way I would go. So, back to you guys. What do you guys think? Would you stick with the 18 to 35? He has it. Or would you be more along the lines of what I'm saying, where for my needs, it's more of the 17 to 70 for the more versatile zoom range, and then some primes when I need to separate my background, or when I want, more light gathering ability or nicer bokeh. Now, Sign21 has said that he uses, I think that's what he's saying, if you remove the people very rarely. I think he's saying that he rarely shoots at a wide aperture to isolate the subject, to isolate his person, for instance, taking a portrait and make the background blown out. So when we factor that in, it makes me lean even more towards the 17 to 70. But what do you guys think? What would you do in this case? Would you go 1770 or 18 to 35, the f1.8? Bear in mind the difference in price, although the price probably evens out if you aren't going to have a prime to go with it because you've got the 18 to 35 f1.8. However, because we have the 17 to 70 and say a 50 f1.8 or a 50 f1.4, if you get the f1.4, for instance, you can go faster, so more light gathering ability, better subject isolation, depth of field, and you have a backup lens because you have two. If you're only relying on one with the 18 to 35 because of the increased price, and you don't have any other lenses, if that fails, there's no backup. With the other situation with the 17 to 70 and the 50 or any other primes you want to add, you got backup lenses to shoot with. So let me know what you guys would do. Leave it in the comments below. Always like to hear your opinion. Let us know what you would do and let us know why. Let us know what you're shooting with too. Thanks for your question, Sign21. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.